Thank you, Vicky. Good morning. My name is Wim Sveldens, and I am your worship associate for today. Visually, I am a tall, slender, aging, with graying curly hair male. I have to give full credit to one of our Summit Warm Heart guests for my haircut, and I was very, very happy with that. And so I am, my pronouns, I usually use the male pronouns, and I am wearing a blue sweater with khaki pants, and I've been asked to point out my fashionable blue shoes that match my sweater. Thank you for that. Welcome, all of you. I mean, because of the relative position of heavenly bodies like the earth, the sun, and the moon, we actually celebrate two high holidays today. It is in the Christian tradition Palm Sunday, which opens the Holy Week, and in the Jewish tradition, it is Passover. So I would like to welcome all of you and all of each of you to Beacon, right here in Summit. We are a Unitarian Universalist congregation, and I'd like to draw attention to our mission today. We are inclusive at a time where inclusion is getting a lot of headwind, but we are not just inclusive. We are radically inclusive. I'd like to ask each of you to bring your full spirit into this time and place, because our mission is to feed the Spirit. Be ready to feed the Spirit. Be ready to have your spirit be fed. And as we all know, there is a lot of pain and suffering in the world, whether it's right here in Summit, or in the communities that we are part of, or in this country, or in the wider world. A key part of our mission is to heal the world. So please join me in this service. We have two very exciting announcements. One of them is related to the fact that it's Passover. That means tonight, right here at Beacon, 5:30, we have a Seder. All of you are more than welcome to join this food and singing activity. There are some sign-ups if you feel so compelled for food or cleanup volunteers, so we appreciate anybody who's willing to lend a hand. This is a family event. It's an all-ages event, so please bring everybody. We like to retell the story of Israelites escaping from Egypt, both with food and song. Join us, 5:30 tonight. Secondly, also very exciting news, the Transylvania Youth Choir is visiting. They will be arriving this coming Friday. There's 40 youth and 5 adults who accompany them. There will be a pretty impressive youth choir event, 7:30 Friday. And then on Easter, exactly a week today, we will have both the Beacon Adult Choir and the Youth Choir will sing in the service. And on top of all that, if that wasn't enough yet, we also have Reverend Jane Erzepka, who wrote a book on preaching, who will be here. And if that wasn't enough yet, we have not one, but 2 Easter egg hunts, so you definitely do not want to miss next Sunday. So again, welcome to all of you. Please join me in service today. Thank you.
Thank you, Wim. Exciting things happening. Good morning, beloved. I'm Reverend Robin. My pronouns are she, her. I'm an average height, middle-aged white woman with short brown highlighted hair and my sparkly blue glasses. Before we begin, I would like to invite someone to come forward and to kindle the light of our faith. No pressure, but we cannot begin until someone... Yeah, Sue, come on. Welcome back, Sue. Okay, all three. Wow. It's not, this is like when we have the Wonder Box. It's like exciting. So there you go, Sue. There you go, Nancy. And Claudia, you can assist. Hold the spirit. Thank you for kindling the light of our faith, the symbol of Unitarian Universalism, which is the chalice. Did you know our chalice comes from our work as Unitarians in World War II? It was the image that was utilized in order to gain safe passage for those who were escaping the Nazis. And it was stamped on passports. It was worn on lapels as an image to say that those who were offering the safety or travel could be trusted. And then the Sharps, who did that incredible work for the Unitarian Service Committee, when they came back to the United States, brought the image back with them, and it quickly spread to Unitarian congregations and then Unitarian Universalist congregations around the country. We begin this morning with the words of the poet Rainer Maria Rilke. This translation is from Joanna Macy, and I want to invite you into your own translation. Rilke uses the word for the holy God, but perhaps our theologies in our midst are varied, and so I'd invite you to consider a word that you can call forth that has meaning for you as I read these as translated by Joanna Macy. God speaks to each of us as God makes us, then walks with us silently out of the night. These are the words we dimly hear. You, sent out beyond your recall, go to the limits of your longing. Embody me. Flare up like a flame and make big shadows I can move in. Let everything happen to you, beauty and terror. Just keep going. No feeling is final. Don't let yourself lose me. Nearby is the country they call life. You will know it by its seriousness. Give me your hand.
Good morning. My name is Misa Iwama. I'm the Director of Music Ministries. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm here with Vicki Carter. And we're going to invite you to join this morning as we start with hymn number 40. The morning hangs a signal. And as you get through, pick up your hymnals, I just want to point out that the words are so beautiful in this hymn. The third verse is, the soul has lifted moments above the drift of days, when life's great meaning breaketh in sunrise on our ways. Behold the radiant token of faith above all fear. Night shall release its splendor, that morning shall appear. I invite you to rise in body or in spirit and join in singing. it laughs along the sky, till glory of the sunlight on all the land shall lie. Above the generations, the lonely prophets rise, while truth flares as the day star within their glowing eyes. And all their eyes beholding are kindled from that flame, and dawn becomes the morning when prophets love proclaim. The soul has lifted moments above the drift of days, when life's great meaning breaketh in sunrise on our ways. Behold the radiant token of faith above all fear. Night shall release its splendor, that morning shall appear.
This is our third Sunday of a very special social justice plate collection for the Ironbound Community Corporation, and I'm very grateful that the co-lead of our environmental justice team, Cynthia Gutierrez-Bernstein, is here to tell us a little bit more.
Again. I'm sorry I'm not wearing my tag. My name is Cynthia Gutierrez-Bernstein, and I forgot to ask my son and husband what color sweater I'm wearing, because they're very, very good at quaternary colors now, but I think it's raspberry. Raspberry dress. And my pronouns are she, her. So this is the third and final Sunday where we are dedicating the entirety of our collection plate for the Ironbound Community Corporation in support for environmental justice. I know a lot of you have been watching news and all the things happening, and so now really is a time where it's most important that institutions, and people in the community help each other. Ironbound Community Corporation is a nonprofit organization that advocates for environmental justice in Newark, New Jersey. As you may be aware, the residents of Newark have long been paying for the advances and the conveniences enjoyed by the rest of our state. According to a 2022 study published by The Hill that evaluated over 150 major cities, Newark, New Jersey ranks second among the dirtiest cities in the US. This is quotes, based on pollution, living conditions, infrastructure, and resident satisfaction. Only Houston, Texas beats us. ICC was founded in 1969 by a group of mothers living in Newark that felt the need to form a community organization to address the inaccessibility of childcare and rampant health issues caused by industrial facilities. The organization has now developed over the years and evolved to focus on environmental justice and other social issues that affect the people of Newark. In the 1980s, the largest Superfund site in the Passaic River was filled with toxic Agent Orange, I think, as JV had shared from ICC earlier this month. And they advocated for healthier, cleaner community. Over the years, the organization has increased the amount of recreational green spaces in Newark, advocated for public health, addressed food justice, and fought for policy changes in regards to environmental housing justice. The Ironbound Community Corporation was instrumental in getting a landmark law passed in New Jersey, known as the Environmental Justice Law. I think Nancy had shared more about that last Sunday. And it's a really It is a law that is, first of its kind in the country, and it requires New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection to evaluate the potential impacts, the health impacts that certain facilities would have on overburdened communities. New Jersey then has now the task of, actually implementing the law. And it's proving easier said than done, because as you know, I believe we've been sharing that there is development, there's right now a fight against the development of a fourth fossil fuel power plant project that's proposed in Newark. So I know that's one way that ICC asked for us to help, along with, of course, our financial support. And that's by signing their postcard, asking, standing up with them and for them in this moment, because this is where we really put our faith into practice. So the gifts that we raise today can go to help ICC's programs and advocacy in benefit of those most overburdened. And so we thank you for your generosity as we collect the plates this morning.
Thank you so much, Cynthia. Our morning offering will now be most gratefully received, beloved.
This song is written by Rabbi Menachem Creditor, and it's called Olam Chesed Yibaneh. And you can sing this song with me by just responding each time with this tune. So I'll sing something, you go, na da 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 da. So you want to just try that? Da 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 da. That's just your response, which you can fill with all the meaning that you want. Olam Chesed Yibaneh means the world will be built from love. Olam Chesed Yibaneh, na da 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 da. Olam Chesed Yibaneh, na da 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 da. Olam Chesed Yibaneh, na da 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 da. Olam Chesed Yibaneh, na da 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 da. I will build this world from love. Na da 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 da. And you must build this world from love. Na da 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 da. And if we build this world from love, na da 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 da, then God will build this world from love. Na da 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 da. Olam Chesed Yibaneh, na da 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 da. Olam Chesed Yibaneh, na da 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 da. Olam Chesed Yibaneh, na da 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 da. Olam Chesed Yibaneh, na da 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 da.
I'd like to invite all of you into a time of quiet, of mindfulness, of reflection. If you feel so, please settle comfortably but firmly in your chair or wherever you're seated. Make sure you feel your feet supported by the floor and by the chair below you. And if you want to, just gently close your eyes or fix your gaze on a particular point. And in this stillness, I'd like to bring the words of Howard Thurman. In the stillness of quiet, if we listen, we can hear the whisper of the heart, giving strength to weakness, courage to fear, hope to despair. Can we settle into this place? Try to bring our focus onto our breath. Notice our body breathing in, breathing out. Notice our lungs filling with air, our chest going up and down. And we try to let go of things that were buzzing in our mind before this moment, things that are not in the present moment, things that are not in the present place. We know that the present is our present. We check in with our body. How do we feel? Maybe direct some breath and some love and kindness to any aches or pains. We check in with our mind. How are we feeling? How is our mental health? And again, we direct some of our breath and love and kindness to any sorrows or pains. And we check in with our heart. And we remember the words of Howard, where the whisper of our hearts brings strength to weakness, courage to fear, and hope to despair. And we try to see if in our heart we can find some love, can find some kindness, we can find some gratitude for this moment. And if we can, we try with our out-breath to share some of that strength, some of that courage, hope and gratitude with the world around us, with the community that we have here, with the communities that we are part of, with anyone in pain and suffering in this country or anywhere in the world. We take a few more breaths. Maybe one last breath, and then in a moment we can bring our attention back to this place, open our eyes, and continue this service. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Kit Stinson, she, her. I'm average height, in my mid-70s with short white hair. And today I'm wearing lightweight gray pants appropriate to spring and maybe even early summer, and also an off-white winter sweater because here in New Jersey we have no idea what season it really is. It snowed yesterday. I'm also wearing the burgundy stole that identifies me as a Beacon chaplain. Beacon chaplains are trained volunteer members of the community who offer a ministry of companioning and healing. We build relationships rooted in trust and confidentiality, committing to listen deeply and without judgment. If you'd like to know more about the chaplain ministry, or if you'd like to be paired with a chaplain, please speak with Reverend Robin, and there's also more information on the Beacon website, as well as in Spark every week and in the online chat on Sundays. Chaplains also lead our weekly candle lighting ritual. Together, we light candles of joy, sorrow, and gratitude, first as a community and then as individuals. Today, we light a candle of celebration in the Jewish tradition, joyful celebration for the holiday of Passover, and in the Christian tradition, solemn celebration for Holy Week, which begins today and finds its fulfillment next Sunday in Easter. We light a candle of healing for Mary Ann Doling, who will be having spinal surgery in just a few days. We light a candle of healing for Warren Story, who suffered a fall this week. And we light a candle of healing for Heather Stober, who's recovering from knee surgery. Finally, in this season when several faith traditions celebrate holidays of freedom and redemption, we light a candle of hope. Hope for Kilmar Abrego Garcia and the many thousands around the world whose names don't make it into the news headlines, but who trust that freedom will come, maybe not from miracles, but from human commitment to the liberation of all people. For all these things and so much more, I invite you to come forward now and light a candle here in the sanctuary or wherever you are.
We have a final candle today for the program birthed here at Beacon, and now through growth in this program and a deep partnership for case management has a new home at Bridges Outreach. This candle is for Summit Warm Hearts. It was inspired first by the work of Leonard Prentice, who opened the doors of Calvary Church and with a warm heart declared that no one should freeze to death. Then, when the Summit train station was locked at night, we opened our doors here at Beacon. This turned into the Summit Warm Hearts program, which the Summit Interfaith Council, that is all the houses of worship in Summit, sponsored after its first year here at Beacon. Our candle is not just for us and what we have done, but for the leaders who coordinated, cooked, shepherded, and were present to those who are housing insecure. Starting with Nancy Skinner, who passed the baton to Stacey Lees, who gifted the charge to Missy Rogers, we light a candle of deep gratitude for their service, as well as the countless volunteers who made this vital program possible. We would not be able to heal the world, our little corner of it, without you. I'd like to call forward Missy and any volunteers forward. I know you're out there, so come on up.
So any volunteers of Summit Warm Hearts program, come forward now. If you made a meal or you were a host. Yeah. We want to offer you this blessing. And so, beloved, we offer you this blessing with our gratitude. May your mind know that the work you did mattered. May your hands and heart know the shared ministry is not over. And may the act to make a meal, to sit down and listen to a story of a beloved, to be present to the truth of the world's pain, may those acts transform into a balm. May they create a call for a greater movement of love, far beyond these walls, far beyond these city limits. So may you be blessed, and moreover, so may you know you are a blessing. Amen, and blessed be.
Here's a song by Gregory Porter called Take Me to the Alley. Well, they gild their houses in preparation for the king, and they line the sidewalks with every sort of shiny thing. They will be surprised when they hear him say, take me to the alley, take me to the afflicted ones, take me to the lonely ones that somehow lost their way. Let them hear me say, I am your friend. Come to my table, rest here in my garden. You will have a pardon. Take me to the alley, take me to the afflicted ones, take me to the lonely ones that somehow lost their ways. Let them hear me say, I am your friend. Come to my table, rest here in my garden. You will have a pardon. Rest here, lonely ones, hungry ones, tired ones. Rest here in my garden.
Thank you, Misa. Thank you, Vicki. Beautiful. Well, beloved, I have two liturgically themed jokes for you this day. Been waiting all week, and some of you are already saying stop. My reputation precedes me. What do you call a country full of donkeys? An assassination. Oh, that was, oh. Thank you. Claudia Cohen has given me some love on the side. I'm going to need it because the next one is worse. Why did the matzah quit his job? Because he didn't get a raise. Now, there are only 3 reasons I would start with a joke about a donkey and matzah. The first, it's Palm Sunday. The second, it's Passover. And the third, I'm about to tell you some hard truths. For many Christians around the world, it is indeed the day in which the story of Jesus entering Jerusalem to the fanfare of local crowds greeting him as a prophet with palm fronds waving in the air as he rides on top of a donkey and a colt at the same time. How does he do that? Details. Just gloss over the details. Those palm fronds go from waving to making a path of honor as he enters Jerusalem, but we know in the story that just days later, Jesus will be betrayed, arrested, convicted by the Roman state for organizing against its oppressive rule. He will be sentenced to capital punishment and crucified. For Jews around the world, Passover has begun, a story of the freedom struggle of enslaved Hebrew people under Egyptian rule. In the story, there are plagues and demands to Pharaoh, who at first agrees to free the people and then withdraws his pledge and doubles down. An unlikely leader, Moses, a man we are told who has a speech impediment and a fear of the spotlight, emerges as the one to gather this incredible organizing campaign against injustice. At last, Pharaoh relents, but only after all of the firstborn Egyptian children are killed. And even after he says that he will let the people go, he still sends troops in chariots to chase them as they flee. They make it to safety, but spoiler alert, it takes about 40 years to get to the promised land. Now, in some interpretations in the Christian community, there's an understanding that Palm Sunday and Holy Week takes place with the backdrop of Passover occurring. And in fact, in some of the texts in the New Testament, the gospel writers add this detail in. So it is that we understand the entire narrative of Jesus' last days occurring with this ritual telling of the story of a struggle for freedom. Both holidays are in the spring. They're closely related, always occurring very close together, and this year exactly overlapping. Now, there's not one message or one value in these complex stories. After all, they have endured centuries, and so multiple meanings and understandings get added to these stories. But I do have a practice every year of trying to consider what theme or what message is emerging for me in my own spiritual life, but also in the life of our community. Oftentimes I find new life or a message of tenacity or freedom or hope. But today that is not what has come to me over these weeks. Instead, I've been focused on betrayal. It's a little bit of a salty Passover, beloved. That Pharaoh who promised one thing and did another. That crowd that greeted Jesus as a prophet, then days later stood silent at his conviction by Roman rule. Betrayal is something that feels all around me right now. And I have this sense that no matzah or mortar, no donkey or defiance seems capable of stopping it. The world is eclipsed by cataclysmic climate crises. Our political leaders betray us left and right, pun intended. And as the country makes a hard right turn toward fascism, I fear that as ICE is coming into our communities, including here in Summit, just a little over a week ago, to round up beloveds, too many of us betray our basic humanity and look away and look away. But if I'm even more honest with you this morning, if I go to the limits of my longing, as the poet Rilke instructs, then I'm less about communal conviction or accusations of others, and I'm more inclined this morning to personal confession. Because I have not slept in months, and some of you are saying, we know, we see. I have had a terrible feeling emerge that I have betrayed some of the core values we share. I have tried over these months to negotiate this feeling away. I have tried to silence it. I have tried to mitigate the harm. But this week it became crystal clear. Before I tell you how it became clear, let me tell you how it began. As some of you know, we are in the process of a building project. It's more than a project to me. That sounds like something that you gather for your children to bring to school. For me, it's a vision, it's a life's work, it's a community endeavor. And I'm clear about why it matters. This is not the betrayal. But as a part of the process, there has been a growing push against our community offering any services at all to those who are unhoused, food insecure, in alcohol or drug addiction recovery, or simply those who are vulnerable, broadly speaking. I spent 3 hours listening to these concerns as I testified before the zoning board. Now, to be fair and clear, I think that an open process at zoning boards, community members getting to ask questions and getting answers is an important civic practice and part of democracy. So my quarrel is not at all with the questions contained therein. It is rather about what started to happen in my own soul. Over the course of these months, weeks, and then hours in that testimony, I started to lose the connection with that very holy that we are instructed not to lose by the poet Rilke. I found myself starting to think about our members and those we outreach to as if these communities are two separate and distinct bodies. I placed a false and dangerous boundary considering what were our outreach ministries out there and what were the ministries for our members in here. I forgot that I am here as I believe, but by the grace of a God known as love, that I too was housing and food insecure once, a teenager seeking safety and shelter. And I began to justify in my own mind and subtly with my words that someone else in Summit can do the outreach ministry. After all, we've done so much. Look at all that the Warm Hearts program has accomplished. Someone else can take this on. In these mitigations and negotiations in my heart and in my mind, and even in a few of my spoken words, I want to be clear, I betrayed us. Now, it might not have been as bold or as momentous as a Judas kiss, but I don't think betrayal, the really dangerous kind, is always that obvious. I think it can be slow and subtle and all the more insidious. As Leo Tolstoy so brilliantly puts it, we imagine that their sufferings are one thing and our life another. Beloved, I'm not looking for absolution or reassurance, so please don't offer that in the receiving line. And I know what I'm saying naturally creates a desire for me to stop talking, because this is emotionally uncomfortable for some of us to have a spiritual leader in public confession. But among the gifts I have, silence is not one of them. So this admission of guilt, or this acknowledgement that I was willing to compromise on our mission, it doesn't make me feel better or at ease. In fact, I'm not doing it to feel better. I'm doing it because there's a lesson here for us all to learn before it's too late. I'm doing it as an act of public accountability. There's a reflection here for every single one of us. Do we have a line of who's in and who's out? How do we think of our own vulnerabilities? Do we determine that our own vulnerabilities, which invariably we all have, are a weakness, a fault, a moral defect, a danger, a contagion, a poison? Or do we understand those vulnerabilities as part of the beauty and truth of being human, of journeying in this serious country known as life? The truth is that the vulnerable are not some category out there exclusive beyond the walls of Beacon or beyond the city limits of Summit. The vulnerable are within the range of my voice. And the othering of our inherent human needs often, by the way, created and constructed by unjust, oppressive, dehumanizing, racist systems. The othering of need itself is one of the most perilous actions occurring today. So I've been thinking deeply these past few months about this line I started to draw. And I've been reflecting on the wedding I officiated right here in this sanctuary for 2 participants in the Summit Warm Hearts program, and how they reach out to me every year on their anniversary. I've been thinking about the meals that we gathered all together, sitting at a single table for refugees who were granted political asylum but whose apartment wasn't yet ready. And so they stayed with us, and we built community. I've been thinking about the checks that I've handed out just in the last few days for Beacon Hope and Equity Center, or the minister's discretionary fund monies that are made available to our members that you might not realize are facing eviction, who are facing choices between heating their home and eating dinner. And I have declared from this pulpit that we are sanctuary people. But these last few weeks, as more and more attacks have been levied against the most vulnerable in our city, I stayed silent and I stood down. And I should not have. You should expect more. As you may have heard, this city in which our sanctuary rests is considering an ordinance that will make it illegal to sleep in public or to erect a temporary shelter. Falling asleep on a bench could result in fines up to $2,000 or 90 days imprisonment or community service. This ordinance would criminalize homelessness in Summit. And the homelessness task force that the mayor gathered, of which I am a part, had no idea this ordinance was even being proposed. Despite all of our work together over the last year and a half, housing all but 5 individuals in an incredible effort of multiple agencies and funds coming through the Department of Community Affairs in a rapid rehousing endeavor. This, after moving the Summit Warm Hearts Day program to Bridges Outreach on the good faith that this work would continue, I feel both that I have betrayed you and I have been betrayed. And yet they are pummeling forward with this vote on April 22nd. And they are hoping that as we await a zoning board decision, that we will stand down and we will just let it happen. So silence at this moment would be convenient, it would be expedient, it would be beneficial, frankly, to our interests. But beloved, it is palms up, chariots in pursuit season. And as Audre Lorde has taught us, our silences will not save us. The practice of our religion is surely about joy and the inhabitants of peace and the celebration of life, but it is also about the spiritual discipline of love. So in a season of betrayal, what does the spiritual practice of love require of us? The poet says, embody me, embody love, flare up like a flame and make big shadows that I can move in. Don't lose me. As much as these ancient stories tell us of betrayal, they also show us pathways to forgiveness, to healing, to tikkun olam, or taking the shattered shards of this broken world and repairing it again. Peter, after all, one who also betrays Jesus, becomes the foundation of this emerging Jesus movement in church. And in certain teachings, we learn that those fleeing Israelites were companioned by Egyptians who saw the cruelty of slavery and sought freedom together, who had a deeper understanding of the truth of liberation. Healing betrayal is not simple, and it's not formulaic. It's going to require relational risk. The risk of seeing suffering, releasing shame, and committing to be human together. There were 2 people in our community who told me the truth these past few weeks, who had the courage to take my hand and with a profound amount of love and clarity of covenant told me that I had broken faith. You know who you are. And I thank you. What use is this flame of freedom, this signal of safety and promise for refuge, if it is silent in the face of suffering? I am so grateful to be in a covenantal and consenting community, to know I am not alone. This is the beauty and strength of our religion. We remind each other who we are. And when we start to lose that love, we can take one another's hand. We can remind each other to rise up, to embody love, to make big shadows for justice to move in. So I just came by, beloved, today to tell you a joke about a donkey and some matzah, to share one hard truth with a splash of good news. Because even if you have betrayed your values or been a real donkey over the last couple of weeks, even if you can't imagine how right now, it's not too late to rise, to run toward freedom, to be those sanctuary people promised by this flame generations ago. Once more, the poet speaks to us. God speaks to each of us as God makes us, then walks with us silently out of the night. These are the words we dimly hear. You, sent out beyond your recall, go to the limits of your longing. Embody me. Flare up like a flame. Make big shadows that I can move in. Let everything happen to you, beauty and terror. Just keep going. No feeling is final. Don't let yourself lose me. Nearby is the country they call life. You will know it by its seriousness. Give me, beloved, your hand.
Our last song together is going to be hymn number 6, Just As Long As I Have Breath. I invite you to rise in body or spirit, because we're going to say yes to love. Just as long as I have breath, I must answer yes to life. Though with pain I made my way, still with hope I meet each day. If they ask what I did well, tell them I said yes to life. Just as long as vision lasts, I must answer yes to truth. In my dream and in my dark, always that elusive spark. If they ask what I did well, tell them I said yes to truth. Just as long as my heart beats, I must answer yes to love. Disappointment pierced me through, still I kept on loving you. If they ask what I did well, tell them I said yes to love.
Would you take hands with one another, beloved, for our closing blessing?
Be ours a religion which, like sunshine, goes everywhere.
Its temple, all space.
Its shrine, the good heart.
Its creed, all truth.
Its ritual, works of love.
Its profession of faith, divine living.
Go forth, beacon, to shine, to live this religion.
Be the light, live the love.
Amen.